our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. He don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense.
First of all, that vote is fake as f. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
Have you ever wondered what it really takes to stay on top in the music world? Jay-Z and Beyonce, the ultimate power couple, seem untouchable. Music royalty with a golden touch. Grammys, sold-out tours, billion-dollar brands. But what if their empire isn't as flawless as it looks? Whispers of shady deals, silenced rivals, and hidden scandals are starting to crack that perfect image. Let's peel back the curtain and dive into the rumors, controversies, and questions swirling around the Carters. Are they the icons we celebrate, or something else entirely?
I heard about this the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever as it seems.
Every day,
some of the people where he exposed the shady games going on behind closed doors. The wild part, most of what he said cracked badly. And leading the charge with no fear are 50 Cent and Eminem. Pulling back the curtain, Grammys are more about industry politics than actual skill. And one of the loudest voices screaming that truth.
First up, let's talk about the Grammys, where Beyonce made history in 2024. Her album Cowboy Carter snagged Album of the Year. A crowning moment for Queen Bee fans went wild, but not everyone was cheering. 50 Cent never wanted to bite his tongue, called it straight up rigged. He pointed to Jay-Z's influence, saying the Recording Academy hands out awards to keep the Carters happy. Rewind to 2023, Jay-Z took the Grammy stage, clutching an award and blasted the Academy for snubbing Beyonce for years. Bold move, right? But fans weren't buying it. If the Grammys are so biased, why keep showing up? Why not walk away? The whispers grew louder. Are those trophies earned, or are strings being pulled behind closed doors? And that's just the start.
Kelly said, it's not that hard to contact me. It's just common decency. Basically flooding the spotlight so Beanie's numbers would stay limited. Almost like
you think you were
that record had the same signature vibe as Crazy in Love. In this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled. Again, and he meant it, but don't get it twisted. He's not just mad, but instead of apologizing or owning up, Beyonce quietly removed. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is backing him all the way and throwing even more shade, jealous. And when Jay became president of Def Jam in 2004, names like Aaliyah, Mia, Mary J. Blige, and Carrie Hilson keep coming. Carrie faced intense backlash from fans. Some even confronted her. Whispers started swirling that Beyonce orchestrated the whole thing. Some sort puts young, ambitious artists in dangerous situations.
Now, let's jump to the Super Bowl 2022, where things got messy. 50 Cent was set to hit the stage for that iconic halftime show, a career-defining moment. But according to him, Jay-Z tried to shut it down. Word is Jay, with his NFL connections through Rock Nation, pushed to keep 50 off the lineup. Why? No new music, no chart battles, just pure competition, 50 says. Lucky for him, Eminem wasn't having it. He told the NFL, no 50, no Slim Shady. And just like that, 50 got his spot. That move alone showed how far Jay's reach goes, not just in music, but in the boardroom. But why go so hard to block a peer? It's a question that leads us deeper.
Jay-Z may have swerved that lawsuit filed by sources claim Bey had insiders in Carrie's camp who set her up. Justice, no answers. But if you ask Jaguar Wright and supposedly blackballing other women in the game, but let's not act like Beyonce's innocent in all this. So they stay the only ones winning. And then petty, and this time he's got receipts. Back in 20 talent, or with blackmail and big money moves. After Columbia dropped Big L, he wasn't about to, he didn't just call the Grammys rigged. He flat out exactly what they're doing. As long as Jay and Bey show up, willing to go to keep 50 out the spotlight. Fat had the streets buzzing. He landed a deal with Columbia Records. Used to laugh at DMX behind the scenes, thinking he'd never gave it to him. Like if the Grammys are so biased, never miss an update, and we'll see you in the next one. What's even crazier, Kellis didn't even know. She pointed out that as black female artists, back in the early 90s, he was one of February 15, 1999, Big L. So now that you've seen just how many artists have spoken up, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kelly's Mia Jack's level scary. So now the question is burning hot in the streets.
I think when it goes past
behind the scenes,
the music itself,
closed doors. This list isn't even out for allegedly stealing songwriting credits at about losing.
I don't understand.
Eminem said if another are the Carters untouchable or just good at the fallout? It was career sabotage. He's still out here trying to block his business moves. Even who saw their careers vanish right when Jay mistakes, especially with his legal troubles. In the music biz, but in the boardroom too. No higher. Yeah, Beanie Siegel admitted he made. And you thought that was wild? Jay and Bay's tight. Let's pause and talk about Big L for a second.
That terminology
changed. When Beyonce finally snagged Album of the Year, he went public saying he had receipts proving that no Slim Shady. That move along his marriage to Beyonce like a cheat code on the so-called king and queen of the industry. For years, insiders have said the cameras flash, ratings explode than ever. Are Jay-Z and Beyonce really? She's been standing by his side all these years without threat.
What was the problem?
Here's just a taste of the tea. Everyone else through social media.
That's what I went through.
Speaking of competition, let's talk about the women who crossed paths with Beyonce and paid a price. Take Carrie Hilson riding high in the late 2000s with hits like Knock You Down. Then came a rumored diss track aimed at Beyonce. Carrie swore it wasn't her idea. Producers pushed her into it, she said. But the damage was done. Beyonce's fans, the BeyHive, came for her. Carrie faced backlash, even threats, and her career stalled. Years later, in 2020, she hinted she was set up, pressured to record that track while someone orchestrated the fallout. Then there's Kellis, who called out Beyonce for using her song Milkshake on Renaissance without credit. Kellis found out online, like the rest of us. She went off, saying it wasn't just theft, it was disrespect. Beyonce quietly removed the sample, no apology, no comment, a pattern. Some say yes, and it's got people talking about who else might have been pushed aside.
But right when his career wouldn't change a thing. Why? Their stamp of approval instead of begging for the key for her was simple. She just said the industry said Jay was jealous of that. Case remains unsolved. No smoke and mirrors. And when someone asked him if off, and it only made the whispers loud, said no, the BeyHive went off. Women who were climbing high until with Beyonce and Jay-Z on the cover. Even Irv Gotti, who was deplored while blasting the same people who watch 50.
When I get nervous, I tell it.
That carefully polished image is ruined careers. This isn't for Cowboy Carter. Not everything derived from the marriage. Producers allegedly tricked her into the power couple makes an appearance featuring Cameron, and he's FL, no 50, which they do. What's your take on no and walked away? But that, let's kick it off with 50 Cent. Felt fake. He was up there clutching in a wound, exposed just how far Jay was that she's just Jay's puppet. That now aren't many of them in the game. This wasn't just about music. It was, as in his words, the whole thing's rigged. Fans weren't buying Jay's speech.
But the rumors get darker when we go back further.
Why? So
ever heard of Big L, the Harlem rap legend? In the early 90s, he was a lyrical beast, poised for stardom with a Columbia Records deal. Jay-Z was just coming up, even battling alongside Big L at street ciphers. But in 1999, right as Big L's career was heating up, he was gunned down in a drive-by. No arrests, no answers. Fast forward to today, and voices like Jaguar Wright aren't staying quiet. She's hinted Jay-Z might know more about Big L's end than he lets on, pointing to how Jay's rise skyrocketed as Big L's light went out. It's a heavy claim, pure speculation, but it lingers in the streets and on X, where fans keep digging. Could jealousy really run that deep?
Not just as far as calling Jay and Beyonce connection with Diddy is raising eyebrows. 50 Jay's still out here pounding a drive-by shooting and hosting the Grammy. And nobody, you want to hold the magazine over bodies to stay there? But it's not just 50. Lately, he's been slipping about who he's married to. Coming up with Beanie Siegel, too.
I never saw
You're not wrong. And how can we not bring one of the only rappers in all those Grammy trophies? Make it look like he's got a real shot. Airing Jay out again.
And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year. And what was it, the Eminem show?
Taking out anyone, suddenly they weren't. Wild, right? In 2020, I'm giving her a single ounce of credit, a bitter hater. But now, recording a diss track aimed at been sitting on top while stepping on stage.
Kanye has a huge following. He's made a massive impact on music.
Start getting Grammys left and right.
Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for
never show up. It was about to explode
and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to.
There's no way Z might have had something to do.
My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I.
Dragged and her
that brings us to another legend, DMX. When Jay-Z became president of Def Jam in 2004, DMX was the label's golden goose, 5 #1 albums in a row. But X said Jay played dirty. His 6th album, Year of the Dog, again, got delayed, and DMX claimed it was no accident. Jay was prepping his own comeback, and X felt pushed out to clear the lane. Irv Gotti backed him up, saying Jay was jealous of X's raw energy. In his 2005 track, The Industry, DMX spilled it all, rapping about fake execs and rigged games. And get this, Beanie Sigel, another Def Jam artist, said Jay dropped albums right on top of his, hogging the spotlight every time. Coincidence? Beanie didn't think so, and neither did X.
Why not was hinting she was precious milkshake without the same way
you have a vote in it.
on all these claims.
First of all, that vote is fake.
Saying Jay plays
That's not a real
double
vote.
down hard
That's
now.
not a real vote.
And then
They
all the
give it to
promos,
who
tragedy
they want
struck.
to
A real
give it to.
lyric.
They give it to their darlings.
Or just drop their
oh,
name
this got
forward to
critical
50 about
acclaim, but
respect.
it sold
Decent
2
stop
records.
and do 50 Cent. She's not
Like,
bodies
it
besides
ain't
Fifth
about
Narrative
always
doesn't
what
help
you
with
sell.
gun
I
down,
get
push
that,
his
Vanilla
name to blow
Ice,
up.
I
Lost their
understand.
love, they
You
see
know what
as
I'm saying?
talent.
Like,
Jane Doe, but DMX
there
straight
comes
up
a point where
when
an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to
him up, think we quiet, miss, image, be bad, because to annoying. Have they to the inside of the There's the dark story of Beyonce's former
let's touch on a name that's been everywhere lately. Diddy.
Eminem.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's long friendship with him is raising eyebrows again. In 2024, Diddy faced serious legal heat, lawsuits, accusations, the works. Jay-Z dodged a related case, but online chatter won't quit. Some claim a woman tied to the lawsuit was pressured to stay quiet. No proof, just smoke. But it's enough to make you wonder. The Carters have always been tight with Diddy. Parties, collabs, business ventures. So why is Jay-Z staying silent now? Is he distancing himself to keep his own name clean, or is there more we're not seeing?
For whatever reason, it's like they're always
16, 17 Grammys.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
Right? And
Eminem, he's been warning people for years about how dark and dirty the music industry can get because he's not holding back. He's calling Jay-Z insecure, jealous, and straight up basically flooding the spotlight so Beanie's numbers would stay limited. Almost like one thing, that record had the same signature vibe as Crazy in Love. In this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is backing them all the way and throwing even more shade.
The things they would later.
All this points to one thing: control. Beyonce's team is known for running a tight ship. When Kellis called her out, the sample issue vanished fast. No fuss, no headlines. When Kanye West controversies flared up in 2024, Jay-Z kept his distance. No public support, no shade. Fans on X noticed, speculating he's cutting ties to protect the Carter brand. Every move feels calculated. Like they're playing chess while others play checkers. Even their philanthropy, Beyonce's scholarships, Jay's prison reform work gets framed as part of the image. Critics say it's genuine. Others call it a shield against the rumors. Either way, their narrative stays polished, almost too perfect.
Every
When Jay
move
signed his contract,
calculated.
the big one
Rumored
was
to be
Beyonce.
competition for Beyonce.
When he signed
Remember
that contract,
Amory's hit
the
one?
marriage contract.
One, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Jay-Z and Beyonce just protecting their empire? Or are they really? Even claimed Jay and his mentor, Leo Cohen, she hinted that refusing certain people led to her reputation getting shady behavior wasn't accidental. According to Beanie, Jay and Bay destroyed careers, ruined lives, and crushed rising stars. And we definitely can't forget about Kellis. Kellis later took to Instagram to break it all down. She said artists actually dropped a better album.
You're not wrong.
Everyone believed it was earned. Fans started whispering that Jay pulled
the cop.
You see what I'm saying? So that
to look like a 5-alarm fire. Fizzy's claiming Jay-Z.
Don't ever ask me here again. Please do not ask me
again. Jay-Z may have
because he's
swerved
no
that
longer
lawsuit
viewed
filed
as
by
like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest one was because
Forces claim Bay had insiders in Carrie's camp who set her up. Justice, no answers. But if you ask Jaguar Wright,
oh wow, so that's the
deal.
deal.
I'm just tired.
And supposedly blackballing other women in the game. But let's not act like Beyonce's innocent in all this. While so they stay the only ones winning. And then petty, and this time he's got receipts. Back in 20 talent, or with blackmail and big money.
But you have to remember
Jay
one
would be
thing.
like, you think he's better than me?
I know your deepest secrets.
After Columbia dropped Big L, he
I know
wasn't
so
about
much
to,
about
he didn't
you
just call the Grammys
and what
rigged.
you've done.
He flat out exactly what they're doing. As
I
long
know
as Jay
so
and Bay
much.
show up,
on how you got where you are.
Thing bad about them? Instant backlash. You get labeling background for Jay-Z, but now she's one of his fiercest.
Beyonce.
Boom, he's shut out like he was never in the race. It's all smoke, setting her up to get dragged and canceled. Carrie is willing to go to keep 50 out the spotlight. Fat had the streets
So
buzzing.
what's the
He
real
landed a
story?
deal with
Jay-Z
Columbia
and
Records. Used to
Beyonce
laugh
built
at
an
DMX
empire.
behind the
Rock
scenes,
Nation,
thinking he'd
Tidal, countless hits. They've shaped culture, broken barriers, and inspired millions. But the whispers won't stop. 50 Cent calls Jay petty. Kelly's calls Beyonce cold. And names like DMX and Big L haunt the conversation. Are they gatekeepers holding the throne by pushing others down? Or are they just so big that every move gets twisted into a conspiracy? The truth's murky, but one thing's clear. Their legacy is a paradox, undeniable talent mixed with unrelenting suspicion.
1999, Big L. Grammys are a scam, a pay-to-win setup.
My answer is no for 100 million years.
Next level scary. So now the question's burning hot.
Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX.
So now that you've seen just how many artists have spoken up, 50 Cent, Eminem, Kelly's, Mia, Jack, to Fallout, it was career sabotage in disclosed doors. This list isn't even
You were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
in the streets. But behind the scenes, out for allegedly stealing songwriting credits, Jay-Z. Are the Carters untouchable or just good at about losing? Eminem said if another artist
Never again will I.
He's still out here trying to block his business moves, even lives or saw their careers vanish right when Jay mistakes, especially with his legal troubles. In the music biz, but in the boardroom too, no higher. Yeah, Beanie Siegel admitted he. And you thought that was wild? Jay and Bay's tight. Let's pause and talk about Big L for a second. And when Beyonce finally snagged Album of the Year, he went public, saying he had receipts proving that no Slim Shady. That move alone in his marriage to Beyonce like a cheat code on the so-called king and queen of the industry. For years, insiders have said the cameras flash, ratings explode ever. Are Jay-Z and
Here's
Beyonce
where it lands. Are the Carters untouchable because they're that good, or because they've mastered the art of staying on top? Nobody's got the full picture. Not 50, not Kellis, not even the fans on X piecing it together. But the questions keep burning. What do you think? Is this all envy from rivals, or is there fire behind the smoke? Drop your take below, and let's keep digging into the stories the industry doesn't want told. Hit that like button, share this video, and stick around for more secrets that shape the game.
Are they exposing a system that's taking sketchy people popped up at her doorstep? That's
Those didn't count as much as that one did.
Finished, not even close. On his but Jay's plan totally backfired. He dropped the debut that made Wave and X claimed Jay-Z purposely held it dirty to stay on top. Plenty of ends to win awards. Meanwhile, Eminem.
When I get nervous, I tell the truth.
And all these years later,
yeah, but he doesn't want to live that. He's depressed.
Jay-Z's wins ain't about the music. He said he knew too much, and every mess behind the scenes, and he them dead wrong. And Jay's name keeps stars all to secure their own throne.
Since he been down.
But it doesn't stop there. Beyond the voting committee, M didn't flinch. He said a simple call could have made things right. M's been screaming for years that the gatekeepers pulling strings behind the scenes.
And I'm like, he's not just like you.
Max always said Jay was bitter and flowed, and the show goes viral, getting his shot. But right when his career wouldn't change a thing. Why? Their stamp of approval instead of begging for. The key for her was simple. She just said the industry said Jay was jealous of that. Case remains unsolved. No broken mirrors. And when someone asked him if off, and it only made the whispers loud, said no, the Bayhive went off. Women who were climbing high until with Beyonce and Jay-Z on the cover. Even Irv Gotti, who was deported while blasting the same people who
watch 50.
No one wants to hear that.
Carefully polished image is of ruined careers. This isn't for Cowboy Carter. Not everything
is derived from the marriage.
Producers allegedly tricked her into Power Couple makes an appearance featuring Cameron, and he's NFL. No 50 in the comments. What's your take on no? And walked away. Let's kick it off with 50 Cent. Felt fake. He was up there clutching an award, exposed just how far Jay was that she's just Jay's puppet. There aren't many of them in the game. This wasn't just about music. It was, in his words, the whole thing's rigged.